Hey guys, Tankmaster here, welcome back to another video, and today in this video we are in Arma on beautiful Tanoa, and we're going to be checking out the Flying Legends mod by SAB or SAB or SAB. This is a work in progress mod, which is World War II based, as you will see, and there will be a link in the description to all of the, their page, which shows that all of the planes that they will eventually be bringing in. So the first plane we have is the BF-109B. So it has two MG17s if you press F once, firing 7.92mm rounds, and as you can see it has 1,800 rounds for it. It has a top speed of 510 km an hour and was in service in real life from 1937 to 1938. And these vehicles have their own sounds, so I'll let you listen to them. And here's a look inside the interior. So it's very basic, however, considering the look of the exterior, you'll be focusing more on that than the interior. So, moving on, we go to the BF-109E. This plane also has two MG17 machine guns, which fire 7.92mm rounds. However, it also has two MG-FF cannons, which fire 20mm rounds. Now, the machine guns have 1,000 rounds of ammo, and the cannons have 200 rounds of ammo. Has a top speed of 598 km an hour, and was in service in the German army from 1939 to 1940. So this would have been the Battle of Britain, which I love. So let's hear it. And again, a basic look in the interior. Now, something cool about this mod is if we get on the ground, we can see all of our spent rounds. So yeah, they all look the same caliber, however it's cool to know that this is a feature. And as you are flying in the air, if you look hard enough, you will be able to see the shells come out of the guns when you're firing, which is a nice feature. Now, moving on, we have the BF-109F. It also has two MG17 machine guns, which fire 7.92mm rounds. However, this one only has one MG-FF cannon, firing 20mm rounds, and that is in the front here. 1,000 rounds for the MG and 200 rounds for the cannon. And this plane has a top speed of 682 km an hour and was in service from 1940 to 1942. So let's get inside. So yeah, I love the look of these planes. SAB or SAB has done really well on this mod. So let's hear it. and also a basic look at the interior, which is pretty much the same. So the second to last BF-109 that we're going to look at today is the BF-109G. So this BF-109G has two MG-17 machine guns firing 7.92 and one MG-FF cannon firing 20mm, 600 MG rounds for the MG-17s and 200 cannon rounds. Has a top speed of 665 km an hour and was in service from 1942 to 1944. So there we are, we've got the aces on the front as well. So let us hear it again. So actually a different sound for the MG-17 there, which is interesting. So yeah, the interior is the same. And now the final BF-109, which is the BF-109K. Two MG-17 machine guns firing 7.92, one Mark 108 motor cannone cannon firing 30mm rounds this time, 600 machine gun rounds and 65 cannon rounds, and with a top speed of 707 km an hour. It's pretty fast. It was in service from 1944 to 1945, so it would have replaced the G. So if we hop in, let's listen to it. And as usual, nothing different about the interior, it's still fairly basic. And that was the BF-109 line. Moving on, we have the Focke-Wulf 190 line. And we start off with the Focke-Wulf 119A1 with 4 MG-17 machine guns firing 7.92 and 2 MG-FF cannons firing 20mm. It's got a lot of ammo as well. It's got 3,800 machine gun rounds for the MG-17s and 120 cannon rounds for the MG-FF. It also has a top speed of 666 km an hour and was in service from early 1941 to late 1941, so not that long of a run time, but it did the job. If we hop in, we get to see the different interior, which is very crammed. There we are, and let's hear it. And as you saw the interior before, I'm just going to open the canopy, which is an option, which I like, so you can see the open air for all you want. Now, the Focke-Wulf 190A4. 2 MG-17 machine guns this time, firing 7.92, and 4 MG-FF cannons, firing 20mm. Now, 1800 MG rounds and 680 cannon rounds, so a lot more there. However, again, it has 666 km an hour top speed and this one was in service from mid 1942 to early 1943. So here's a look in the interior, exactly the same as the Focke-Wulf from before. Let's see if it has the same starting up animation, which I quite like. And that was the Focke-Wulf 190. Again, you can open the canopy, and the interior is pretty good. Now, moving on, we have a bomber, the Ju-86D. Look at this big beast. It's got Stuka-like wings as well. I hope you all know what the Stuka is. If you don't, search up Ju-87 and you'll see what I mean. It has 3 MG17 guns around the would you call it a body? I would call it a body. We have one up top there, that pod there at the bottom, that's one, however you need to lower it, which I'll show you in a minute. And then, as you may have saw, there's one in the front. There it is. There's altogether 900 machine gun rounds, so that's 300 for each gun. And the pilot gets 16 50-kilogram bombs. There is a top speed of 366 kilometers an hour, and it was in service from 1936 to 1937, so it missed the war. It has a crew of 4, so the pilot and the 3 gunners. So, as I was talking about, if we go ahead and press turret here, we can see the turret lowers, and you get the machine gunner's turret there. We can also open the canopy, which opens the rear canopy, but that's it. So we'll check out those positions after we do the engine startup as usual. So, a very nice sound there. Now, if we check out the pilot's position one last time, pretty basic. If we go to the dorsal turret, which is the one in the rear, here we have the MG15, and let's do a firing test of it. And if we move on to the belly gunner seat, here we have it. He's literally in his own pod. If we have a look at it, there we are. See, in his own pod there, happy. So yeah, again an MG15. And then if we go to the front gunner seat, here we have him in his glass shell with the MG15. So if we hop out, we can look one more time at it, and then we will move on to its brother, sister. Yeah, it's the Ju-86E, so the E variant. Again, it has 3 MG17s in the same positions, firing 7.92. MG15, sorry. 900 machine gun rounds, 300 each, and 16 50-kilogram bombs for the pilot. Has a top speed of 366 kilometers an hour, and was in service from 1937 to 1939. It also has a crew of 4. So, The look around is nearly done. Now this is exactly the same as the D, apart from the skin, so to say, and the different shaped engines. So we'll still have a look at it, shall we? So if we go to the pilot, nothing new here. You can still open the canopy in the rear and lower the turret. So because this is a different engine, let's see if it sounds different. So no difference there. So I think it's safe to say that we can just hop out and move on to our next one, which is the Ju-88 or Junkers 88A4. Now, this fighter bomber, so to say, has 4 MG15 guns, which fire 7.92, and has 1,500 MG rounds. Has a crew of 5, so 4 gunners and a pilot, which is 1 more than the Ju-86, even though it's a lot smaller. It carries 24 50kg bombs and 4 250kg bombs. 442 kilometers an hour is its top speed, and it was in service from 1936 to 1945. Now here is the lower gunner seat, and then we have 2 in the back there. Actually, it's probably best if I show you getting in. So if we hop in, we can see this is the pilot. We've got 1 gunner there, 1 gunner behind us that way, and then another gunner to the next to him, and then we've got the belly gunner, obviously. So we will go ahead and check out the front gunner seat, which is right next to the pilot, as I said. It's got an MG15. If we go to the belly gunner seat, which we have to fold up, which only happens when you start the engine, so we'll see that happen in a second. The dorsal gunner seat and the dorsal gunner's 2 seat are these rear facing ones. So yeah, let's get into the pilot seat and let's start her up. So as you can see, I believe it was a different sound to what the Ju-86 made. And if you were looking carefully, you would have seen the MG15 drop down there. The hull gunner's seat, let's say. So as we slowly walk over, and I think it may be best if we do a jog over there. So here we are. We have the Op 4, or Russian vehicles. So the one before was Blue 4, which is also Germany. This is the Russian vehicles. So if we get round to the front, we can go back to walking. This is the Hawker Hurricane Mark II. So this would have been Lend-Lease from us Brits during the war. It has 8.303 Browning machine guns, firing 7.7mm rounds, 1800 rounds for those guns, has a top speed of 554 kilometers an hour, and it was in production 1940s, early 1941. By then it was replaced by the Spitfire, which we all know well. So if we hop in, we can see the interior is again cramped, but it's nice. We can open the canopy, see it slides back, and yeah, so let's close the canopy again and let's hear it. So as you can see, a very different noise for the startup there, how the same noise for the machine guns. Now, moving on, we have the Hurricane Mark IIc. So this Hurricane is again a lend-lease from us Brits. It has 4 Hispano cannons firing 20mm rounds, of which it has 360 of them. Has a top speed of 560 km an hour, so it's a little bit faster than Mark II, and was put in service in 1941 till 1942. So if we hop in it, we can have a look at the cramped interior again, which is always nice to see. We can have a look at the body one more time before we start her up. And it's stalled. Well, time for the cannons. And that was the Hurricane Mark IIc. Now for the final Op4 vehicle, it is again a Hurricane, however this is a Hurricane trainer vehicle. So Lend-Lease again, like I said, has 8.303 Browning machine guns firing 7.7, which don't know why a trainer plane has machine guns, but alright then. 1800 rounds for the said machine guns, has a top speed of 558 km an hour, and was in service for the Russians from 1941 to 1945. So it was full-time running. So if we hop in, there is 2 positions. We can either go for the pilot, which is cramped, or we can go to the passenger, which is crampter, more cramped, whatever. We can also open the canopy apparently, but because it's just copied from these 2 planes, you obviously can't because it's a trainer. So if we go back to the pilot's seat, we can do a sound test. Don't know why I thought it would be any different, like sound any different, but it didn't. So, moving on. Right, there will be more Russian fighters or Russian vehicles soon. Remember, this is a work in progress mod, so they will be adding it. But anyway, moving on to the independent slash, which is also known as British slash American forces. So the first one here is the Hurricane Mark I, with 8.303 Browning machine guns firing 7.7. It has 1800 rounds for those guns, has a top speed of 558 km an hour, and was in service from 1939 to 1941. So here we actually have the Sea Hurricane livery, which is strange. I would have thought they went for the Battle of Britain livery, but they didn't. So if we get in as pilot, we can see the interior is exactly the same and still cramped. We can see the canopy still folds back, which is nice. And we can do a sound test, so I'll see you soon. And that was enough of a sound test to keep me satisfied with it. So now it's the turn for the Hurricane Mark IIc, which is just a repaint from the Russian version. So it's got 4 Hispano cannons, 20mm, and 360 rounds for said cannons. It's got a top speed of 560 km an hour, and was in service from 1941 to 1942 when it was replaced by the Spitfire and stuff. So here we have a look at it. This is actually the desert camo for it, in case you couldn't tell. So now that we're done with that, we can go over and get in. Same interior, canopy still goes back. Sound test will be the same, but let's hear it anyway. And that was the Hawker Hurricane series. Now, on to the Americans. And the first one we have is the P-51B. The P-51B has 4 .30 caliber machine guns, firing 7.62mm rounds, and has 1800 MG rounds for said machine guns. 667 kilometers an hour is top speed, and it was in service from 1942 to about 1943. And my god, does it look beautiful. Ooh. It's got the open canopy design instead of the fold back, which you'll push back, which you'll see in the next one. So if we hop in, we can see the interior is really good on this one. There's a lot more to look at in the interior than there was in any of the other planes, sadly. So yeah, but this is a work in progress mod, so we should be able to see more of that soon. We can open the canopy, even though it's already open, and then open the canopy again. And I've just noticed, if we press open the canopy, something should start spinning. No, I'm just crazy. Oh, that is a shame. I thought I could see something going round in the interior, but no, it's just my head. So let's do a sound test of it, shall we? And that was the first of the P-51 series. Now we have the P-51D, probably one of the most famous P-51s there, well, in the world. It has 6 .30 caliber machine guns, 3 in each wing, and they fire 7.62, 1800 rounds for those machine guns, 667 kilometers top speed, and it was in production / service in mid 1943 to late 1945 when the war ended. So still looks, I still love it. So if we get in the P-51, we can see the interior is the same, and if we open the canopy we can see it slides back. So this is the more famous variant because of that bubble canopy. So let's close the canopy and let's hear it start up. And there we are. Look at these beautiful planes. That is all that comes in this mod, which is sadly. However, there will be new additions soon, because like I said, this is a work in progress mod. So there will be a link in the description to the website where you can see all the planes that they will be adding, which is good. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe. If you want to see my Instagram, it will be down in the link to the description, as well as a link to this great mod. So Thank you for watching, and I'll see you.